been 5 years since Audi bowled everyone over with their R8 supercar, the flagship of the Audi range. And well, what we've got on our hands now is the updated version of the R8, facelifted. What makes it faster, cooler, better? We're going to find out exactly that.
What the R8 has seemed to lack is some soul. This Audi supercar seems to take pride in its efficient and no-nonsense garb. Even now it feels the same, except it looks even more technical. For instance, there are new LED headlights which come as standard for 2012. There are the new, bigger air dams and a new hexagonal grille. The most distinctive change is at the rear. The new taillights have turn indicators that swipe outwards. As for the rest of the R8, it's still very much the same. So this hockey puck looks sharper, but does it drive that way as well? The R8 continues with two powertrains, the 4.2-litre V8 and the car I was driving, VTEC. This Lamborghini-sourced motor develops 518 bhp of power and 54 kilograms of torque. And it weighs 1.6 tons, all of which is the same as the outgoing R8. But when you look at the acceleration figures, the new R8 is faster than before. So what exactly is different?
Now the big update on the R8 is the gearbox. The old robotized manual that came with the V10 from Lamborghini, it's been done away with. It's been replaced by a more high-tech, a more Audi dual clutch system. And that matters a hell of a lot for a supercar like this because that makes it faster.
Developed specifically for the R8 is this wet twin clutch. It helps shave the 0 to 100 km/h time by half a second, which means it's down to 3.6 seconds, and top speed is 314 km/h. And combined with the V10 motor, the R8 felt pretty awesome. And at the same time, it can be very polite.
Driving through a narrow, small village like this, it's so easy to forget that this is actually a supercar. I mean, it just feels so civilized.
The suspension feels nice and reasonably pliant. It feels so civil and ordinary that you can forget that this is a hardcore supercar. So the facelifted R8 is pretty much the same as the old car. And when it comes to India, it won't prove to be drastically different. It continues to be perfectly civil, extremely precise, and even more efficient. And at the same time, a bit more exciting.
Well, on the hotness scale, Audi has got an 11 on 10 planned, but that's waiting for us at the MISANO circuit.
Next morning, we were under attack from the rain gods. But there was no turning back.
Well, here I am, and there it is, the R8 V10 Plus.
The Plus has been added to the R8 V10 name as it has a few extras. To help it shed weight, it uses ultralight forged wheels. There are carbon ceramic brakes that shave 2 kilograms. There's aluminum suspension. The front splitter is made of light carbon fiber, and so is the rear diffuser and the side blades. It all adds up to save 50 kilograms of the curb weight. Even the engine bay is lined with carbon fiber. And that jewel of a motor now develops 550 bhp. That means it's finally on par with Lamborghini Gallardo's entry-level LP550-2. And that is very good news.
9,000 RPM, nearly 9,000 RPM. That's how hard and high this engine revs. And it delivers power with a brute force. You really have to be gentle on the accelerator.
Yes, the R8 V10 Plus was proving to be very exciting. But the 550 bhp of power and 55 kilograms of torque were proving to be a bit too wild for the conditions.
And the grip conditions right now are really very low. Track is cold, it's wet.
And that was despite having Quattro on hand.
I'm pretty certain that if it weren't for four-wheel drive, I'd be parked in a fence around one of these corners.
Go in too hot into a corner and the R8 will slide, but the Quattro just sorts itself out and keeps you going. With the ESP on, it induces understeer even though it can only send a maximum of 30% torque to the front wheels. The new carbon ceramic brakes delivered astounding stopping power. You could really leave the braking very, very late. To get the best out of the R8 in these wet conditions, it was best to drive smoothly. You needed to finish braking in a straight line and then use the direct and fluid steering in just the right quantities to sweep cleanly around the bends. This made the R8 quite rapid around the track. The performance and experience was helped along by the twin-clutch gearbox.
Downshifts when you want them. Nice.
The R8 V10 Plus comes with non-adjustable dampers. These have a sportier setup which felt just right for the racetrack. And as the track dried up, I was able to push the R8 harder, revel in the superb grip offered by the Quattro and the massive 19-inch rubber. The sheer balance of this mid-engine supercar is something to marvel at. You could really run it through the long fast corners and nail the accelerator coming out of them. And the Plus proved that it is every bit an R8, only faster and more exciting. Only, it still won't give you goosebumps.
Now, nobody has ever really accused the R8 of being a very emotional supercar. But nobody has ever argued about its competency or its speed. It is a super fast supercar, and now with the V10 Plus, it's just got a whole new edge. That engine just feels so responsive. You really have to tiptoe around corners, especially in the slippery conditions that we had today. But with the power of four-wheel drive, you do feel quite secure chucking it into a corner. And with the dual clutch gearbox, you have more performance and more convenience on tap. When the R8 V10 turns up in India early next year, I'm sure the keen supercar buyer will appreciate the convenience and the new look of the R8.